Hello and welcome to Storytime with Miss Bethany. I'm Miss Bethany. I work at the Beaverton City Library and today I'm going to tell you the tale of Rock Stew. Once upon a time there were 3 hungry travelers. They had been traveling the country for many days and were very hungry. They realized they could not go any further without nourishing food to fill their bellies. Fortunately, they saw the lights of a village up ahead. As they approached the village, one of the villagers spotted them and turned to his wife. "Oh great, here come some more people from out of town who are going to ask us for something to eat." His wife replied, "Quick, let's hide our food and claim we don't have any." "That's a good idea. I'll move everything down to the cellar. You go next door and warn the neighbors." The wife ran around the neighborhood and warned them about the approaching strangers. The villagers quickly stashed carrots under the beds, potatoes in their cupboards, cabbages under the chairs, and draped quilts over hunks of beef hanging in the cellars. The travelers came to the first house just as the wife was returning home. "Excuse me," one traveler said. "We have been walking for a long time and are famished. Could you please spare a bit of food for our growling stomachs?" "Sorry," said the man, joining his wife in the doorway. "We are low on food ourselves. As you can see, our cupboards are bare." He gestured toward the shelves that had just been cleared. "Oh," said one of the travelers, "we understand that times are tough. Thank you for your time." The same thing happened at the house next door, one after that, and every house on the block. The villagers emerged from their houses, watching the travelers go door to door. They muttered to one another, "Why should we share our food? We barely have enough as it is." When the travelers realized all the villagers were gathered around, one called out, "People of the village!" The villagers moved closer. "We are 3 hungry travelers. We asked you for food, but you have none. We will have to make rock stew." The crowd buzzed with murmurs. They had never heard of rock stew before. "First," said the traveler, "we will need a large pot, the largest pot you have." A few of the villagers hurried away and returned with the largest pot they could find. "Next," said the traveler, "we will need to fill the pot with water and a fire to heat it." The villagers rushed away and brought back wood and matches. A fire was built and the pot was set to boil. "Now, the most important ingredient of all. We need 3 round, smooth stones." The children were sent away and returned with 3 rocks. The travelers dropped them in the pot. "Do you, by any chance, have some salt and pepper?" The children ran away again and returned with salt and pepper. "The rocks you found make good stew, but it would be even better if there were carrots." "I might be able to spare a carrot or 2, said one woman as she hurried away and came back with a large basket of carrots. "Perfect!" exclaimed the travelers as they sliced the carrots into the pot. "Potatoes would be delicious, but there's no use asking for something you don't have." "I might be able to find a few potatoes," offered a man. He returned with a burlap sack full of them. "If only we had some cabbage, then the stew would really be tasty." As if by magic, the villagers left and came back with some cabbage and added them to the pot. "I know you don't have any, but if there was some beef and barley, this stew would be fit for a king." "A king? Well, perhaps they could add a little of each. This was a special occasion after all." The villagers came back with some barley and some beef, and the travelers added it to the pot. The travelers stirred all the ingredients together, the salt and the pepper, the carrots, the potatoes, the cabbage, the beef, and the barley, and of course, the most important ingredient, the rocks. The villagers watched with anticipation. "Good people of the village, I'm sure you are all excited to taste rock stew. We need to set a table." The villagers carried great tables and chairs, spoons and bowls, bread and cider. Everyone sat down together for the giant feast. The rock stew was the best thing they had ever tasted. Everyone ate, talked, laughed, and danced until late at night. At last, when everyone was full and was tired, they prepared to go home to go to sleep. The travelers were invited to sleep in the fanciest house in the village. The next morning, the whole village gathered to say goodbye to the travelers. Thank you for teaching us how to make rock stew. Because of this, we will never go hungry again, now that we know how to make stew from rocks. Glad to help, the travelers called as they walked away. The end. Thanks for sharing this story with me. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.